everyone, Vanessa here with Visalia Talks, your local talk show that brings you all the latest and greatest of what's going on in our community. Today I have a special treat with us, and I've got Linh from, check it out, The Path to Inner Peace. Now, if you know me well, you know how important inner peace is to me. So I'd like to thank and welcome, thank you so much for coming, Linh. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Yes.
I'm so excited to
talk
today and to see what we're going to talk about.
Yes. So, okay, The Path to Inner Peace. With a name like that, you've got to know a little bit of something about inner peace. So I know how important my peace is. I teach it to all the people around me, my youngins, everything. So I would like to hear from you, truly, what is even inner peace?
Yeah. So I will kind of share a bit more about what inner peace is. Before that, I think it's something everybody wants,
yes.
Right? And yet, why is it that it's so hard to get?
Exactly.
And an example I usually share with my clients is like when you get an Uber or Lyft, you need to put in your where you are and then your destination. So if you put in the wrong destination, well, you're going to end up in the wrong place. Or you don't know your destination, you're not going to be able to get there. So there's a lot of, you could say, misunderstanding around inner peace, and that's why you haven't been able to anchor it.
To find it.
Because humans are really smart. We're generally collectively really smart. So if we knew what it truly is, we would have gotten it, generally.
Yes.
So I, like inner peace, a lot of people think of it as being no stress in life, just kind of like vacation on Maui with martinis, all that stuff. That's cool, but really inner peace comes from being and living in alignment with who you really are, and with living your purpose. What is your higher purpose that you're here to do, and when you are more connected to your true self, and when every day, when your thoughts and your words and your actions are aligned with what you're meant to do here on earth. And all of our purposes have to do with living in our joy and be able to share joy with others.
I mean, drop. Yes.
So when you're in that stage, it's not about getting there, but it's about just in the process of always being in that alignment. And when you're like that, when you go to bed every night knowing, okay, I've done everything that I need to do to further fulfill my purpose and to share my joy and to live my joy and to share my joy with others, then you're going to be able to go to bed peacefully. And that's when you feel that alignment and that inner peace.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when you're doing when you're doing what truly makes you happy every day, living that. Living your true self.
So living your joy, so really cultivating joy and sharing that with others. Because as humans,
our gifts aren't for ourselves.
Right. Well, we actually very innately want to share. Yeah. So if you feel like you don't want to share, you may feel like you can,
then you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, then it's just a sign that you need healing. It's not because you're selfish or whatever. It's just, because when we are in pain, we try to just protect ourselves. But when you really kind of heal yourself more, then you'll generally just naturally feel that desire to serve and to share.
To want to help. So you need that healing. You say you need that healing. Now explain to us a little bit what that looks like. The healing to get you to that next step.
So, well, I mean, healing is I think ultimately I would say in the mystery school, the lineage that I study in, it's to help you remember who you are and live as your true divine eternal being.
Wow.
For some people think that healing is just relieving pain, either physically, emotionally, mentally, and that's kind of like the first step.
That's the first step, guys. That's the step in the door.
Yeah, it's like getting yourself.
Let's get the trauma gone. Now let's really heal you.
It's like getting out of survival mode, but then going into thriving mode. That's kind of healing, which I think people do. I think there's a lot of stigma around healing. Like, oh my gosh, I'm not broken. I don't need healing, but we all do. Because most of the times we don't really. You're not. Most of the time, we don't live as who we really are, and so there's always more layers.
We're working our 9-to-5 job that we're not happy at, but we need to pay the bills, and it keeps the bills paid, and all of that stuff. There's just so much more to life.
And joy, having joy and sharing joy.
Yes. I love that. I
Mhm.
love that. So what separates you from coming to your business from the other places to get some healing?
Yeah, so I think two differences
Mhm.
come to mind. As I mentioned, the first one is I think a lot of time when it comes to healing, people what people mean by healing is they mean relieving pain,
Yes.
pain relief, which is important. When you're in pain, you want less pain. But a lot of times that I think I find in some other healing work, it actually is more so kind of like putting a bandage on it. Where
Yes.
you come, you do something, you feel good for like an hour,
And then the
and
feelings
then
come back, or something
yeah,
happens and it takes you back to
right,
that.
right, and then you
Hmm.
go back home, and your reality is the same. So it's actually didn't.
Yes.
So yeah, you feel good for a second, but your life didn't change, right?
Absolutely.
And sometimes we need that,
Hmm.
right? Sometimes we need that, so it's not bad. But versus the mystery school healing work, like we really it heals your souls, and so when your souls get healed in whatever way, because there are different modalities for different purposes, because you're a very complex being, but whatever part that gets healed, it start cascading into your physical, mental, emotional
Yes.
beings, and then you're going to start finding that your thoughts and your actions start to change, or rather you start wanting to change, and
Hmm.
that's when you start actually taking action. So that's the first difference, I think, the big difference. And then the second one is this is a mystical lineage. We've been around for thousands and thousands of years, and the lineage has been kind of handed down, you know, teacher to student with a lot of, you could say, purity intact, like
Hmm.
really just with that reverence and that holiness that is kept.
Wow.
Versus sometimes there are other traditions, but then anybody can just kind of claim that they've done
Mm.
it, but with the mystical school work, like we're really having to just protect either the teaching or the trainings. Like I go through a lot of trainings, for example, to be able to offer the life activation sessions or be able to offer the empower thyself class. There's always like a rigorous training
Yes.
process, which I actually think it's really helpful in maintaining the standard of the
Absolutely.
healer and of the
Hmm.
practitioner. And that's not something that I really see in other
Hmm.
healing work.
Hmm.
So that I would say is the second difference. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's wonderful. So you did mention life activation.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you asked.
Yes.
So live activation session is a private one-on-one session. So it's a session that anybody can contact me, and then we just schedule a time
Hmm.
that works for both of us. It's an activation session, so it's not really healing, as in like it's the purpose is it doesn't heal, is but it's gonna help you heal anyway.
Okay.
Live activation, another unofficial name, what used to be called 22 strand DNA activation.
Ah,
Yeah,
I've heard of that. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
and what it does is that it activates 22 strands of your physical and spiritual DNA.
And what are we normally, a normal person who's not thinking about activation and all of that stuff, what are we normally running on? How many
I think
strands of
I
that
think I
DNA?
think scientifically they say 2%, and then the other 98% of your DNA is considered junk DNA.
So the 22 strands, is that the percent? So
No, it's not the percent.
it's
It's
different
it's
from that.
yeah. I suddenly forgot the name of it. But it will help activate the rest of
Nice.
your DNA that is currently being unexpressed.
Nice.
Just like how, let's say, when any of your DNA strand is expressed, that's why that you have black hair versus not,
Okay.
maybe not blonde hair. Somebody has blue eye versus black eyes, right? It's all because which one switch on and switches off.
Okay.
With the live activation, it's going to switch on a lot more of your DNA, again, physically and spiritually. Spiritually, it's going to come with your higher purpose. So you're going to get that much higher connection to who you really are and what you're meant to do here. Even if you are already, somebody who's sharing a lot of joy, who's living your purpose already, you're gonna get, it's kind of like a new door open, and
Yes.
you notice all the new potentials
Level
of
up.
what more you can do.
Yes.
And if you haven't, then you're gonna, I have a lot of people that come maybe feeling lost. Well, it's gonna help open new possibilities, so you can see, okay, you can see yourself in different ways, and then you can just start kind of making changes to go towards what's really, you can say, what's really calling your soul.
I love that.
Yeah, and then with the physical DNA side, that's also your talents and gifts. A lot of talents and gifts are either you haven't really worked on,
or
you
not even figured it out
right.
yet. Haven't
Yeah,
even discovered
I would
them.
never thought I would be a teacher, healer. Never, ever, ever in my life.
Yeah.
Or it may actually be gift that you used to have or used to do, but then you just kind of cast them out for whatever reason.
Mhm.
You'll may feel that like that awakening or that reawakening.
Or
to
like,
use
oh
them.
yeah, I used to do that, and I used to love doing that, and I
Yeah.
stopped because this or that or
Whatever.
whatever. Life
Yeah.
happened, and then I put myself aside,
Yeah.
like many people
Right.
do, especially parents,
Yeah.
mother or father. We tend to put our stuff aside
Yeah.
to focus on the children and make sure that they're raised in their true selves, where we lose our true selves in the process.
And you know what's I sometimes I tell parents, right, is that you cannot give what you do not have. Right. So obviously I know a lot of parents want the best for themselves.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, not for themselves, for their kids,
yeah.
right? But you can only give your kids what you have.
Yeah.
So actually, when you as a parent work on yourself, work
Mhm.
on your healing,
Mhm.
your joy, work on your purpose, when you do that, you actually have more to give your kids versus
Mhm. And this is all a
less.
part of, like, breaking generational, ways. This is it's a new time. It's a new era. Let's, get everyone learning all of these things, because you're right. We can't teach something that we don't even know about.
Yeah.
And this is a lot of stuff, just like we were speaking earlier. When you're born, we're born with all of these unique gifts and ways and things that we come to this earth with that we just lose. Just like we're taught fears, we're lost all of these natural things that we're born with.
Yeah.
So,
and we have a lot of potentials, right? But that's the thing. When you were born, you have a lot of potentials, but potentials are just potentials, right? It's gonna take nurturing, it's gonna take learning, practicing.
Yes. You have to water the seed.
Exactly, to actually make them come true.
Yes.
Right. So and that's a lifelong process. But it's actually that process of, you could say, refining yourself and maybe discovering different skills, different talents and gifts, and getting them to a point where you can share them with others to benefit everybody. That's kind of like the awesome part.
That's the goal. That's the goal. It's what I've always said. It starts in your home.
Yeah.
Then spread to your community.
Exactly.
Out to the world, and however far our personal journey takes us.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful that way. It's all about helping and making the world go round.
Yeah. Yeah. I've always been super motivated by purpose. Sometimes it's easier for me to help others.
Yes.
Right. But I've learned to serve myself too. Yeah. So now I can do both. But I'm like super motivated to serve others, because I know that when I do help others in a balanced way, it's going to serve me too.
Absolutely.
And yeah, when I share the light, it's always going to benefit me. So I mean, not everybody come to seek healing does that for that reason. Because again, if you're pained, right, you just want the pain gone, right? You're not seeking that. But usually at some point, especially if you meet me, it's always because you have something in your heart that you want, like a legacy you want to leave. And that's what we're going to work on, help you activate all that, give you the tools, ancient empowerment tools, so that you can just, like tackle whatever the heart problems and be able to be successful with your goals and your aspirations.
I love that. I love it. So you mentioned the not the life activation, but the empower thyself. Oh. Let's hear a little bit about empower thyself.
Yeah. So I usually tell my clients there are two things. If I have 25 different modalities, 15 different classes, like lots of things I can offer you, but two of the most important things that I can offer you, one is a life activation, because it opens you up to new potential, right?
And helps you find your purpose in life.
Like help you start, and once you activate it, you activate it for life. So it's like 90 minutes that potentially can change your life forever. It's pretty cool.
Yes, really cool.
And then the second thing, as a guy, the most important thing I could ever do for you is to help take you through the Empower Thyself class and initiation. This is like a process in the ancient mystical lineage. Again, it's been around for as long as humans have been around. Wow. And it will, obviously in the class, you'll learn different knowledge, insights about who you really are, about your higher divine potential, what you're meant to be. You also learn more about like your makeup, right? Because it's all about know thyself.
Yes. Right? When you say your makeup, it's like what brought you to being who you are? Is that?
Well, I meant, well, you may come to that realization yourself, but I meant your makeup means literally like, so a lot of times people just know themselves as a human body, right? Like as just this body. So then your focus will only be on the body.
Okay.
But when you learn more about, perhaps you have energetic bodies that you don't know. Like I think a lot of people are warming up to the term, like to the concept, for example, of auras.
Yes.
Like which it's like we all do that. Like when you go into a room and you suddenly can feel.
Yes.
With energy or good energy, like that's you actually your aura.
Yeah, hone in on that.
Right?
Like,
So you'll learn more about that because you, just like how your human bodies have all these different parts, your energetic bodies also have all these different parts. And that's part of knowing yourself. Yes. Right? When you know what you are, you know what you need, you can give yourself what you need, and then you can grow. And you're less likely to be stuck, because a lot of time I think people again get stuck, like either in pains or physically, emotionally, mentally, but that's because you have like a very limited concept of yourself. But and in the Impulse class, we're gonna expand that so that you can really start to see yourself as a limitless divine being,
discovering your powers.
Yes, when you see yourself as that, then you're gonna realize, okay, I have a start seeing, okay, this is my power, this is my power. You just start to just
to really take control of yourself.
Yeah, and then you learn like tools that you can use every day for the rest of your life.
Yes, and there's no unlearning.
Yeah,
like you know this, and it's like
it's
you know that you can do this, so don't not. Like it's I love that.
Yeah, totally. Like we always say, I always tell and we always say, I'm not teaching you anything, I'm just helping you remember. And it's so often in class, people like they have that aha moment, and it's like, yeah, yeah,
just like when I went to your class, and by the way, we'll talk about that too, because I did visit your meditation class, and a lot of the things that you were saying at the end of the class, I said, I've always thought all these things, but I've never been told these things. I've never been taught these things. I've just always, for some reason, thought these things, and now I see it's not. I'm not just thinking these things.
Crazy.
Like I'm not crazy. It's actually true, and it's just these things that I've allowed myself to believe my truth, and to believe, to trust my discernment. When I'm being told something in my spirits, I trust it. I go with it. I believe it, and it's a lot of what you're teaching to do. Trust yourself and look into yourself.
Yeah. It's. I mean, obviously, you need to trust yourself.
You'll be surprised at how many.
I was like that. I was self-doubt all the time.
Yeah, we are our own demise.
Yeah, you are your biggest. Honestly, it's not government. It's not other people. We actually stop ourselves.
I literally just told this to someone yesterday because they decided to make a change in their life. I said, yeah, we are the only people who can really, at the end of the day, we're the only people who can stand in our own way.
Yeah.
No one else can actually tell us, no, you can't, make your life happen. No, you can't. It's ourselves that are not taking that step, that are not just going for it.
Yeah. And that's why it's also the hardest thing, because, like having to accept that it's you. But then the good thing about being the one that's stopping yourself
is you have the power to make it happen.
Exactly.
As well.
Exactly. So that you actually have all that power and that responsibility to change it.
Yep.
So it's like the hardest thing, but also the easiest thing.
Exactly. Yes, absolutely. It really is, because it's up to us. Yeah. It's up to us. The determination comes from within. Yeah. I love that. Is there anything else you want to share with the community today?
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I literally, the word in my mind was, I need to mention community.
There it is. There it is.
I was like, that's the one thing I need to mention. So I have a lot of people coming to me, right? Like yourself, but also others who say, hey, the thing that you tell me are like so resonant with me. I've never had anybody telling me that, like I'm not crazy, all that stuff. And what I would suggest come, to meditation, book a consult, just come to a class, just try to get into the energy, and you get to see for yourself, first of all, like, I'm really vocal about this because I have lived experiences, like this is what I have dedicated to. So that you're not alone, right? Because I think a lot of people who are change makers or potential change makers, right? Who have all this inklings like, oh my gosh, there must be more, all this stuff. But then looking outside, the world is not as so, right? The world is not built in that way. So it can be really disheartening, and it can be like, well, maybe I'm not meant to do that. Maybe I'm meant to kind of conform or whatever, to belong. Well, come and you'll learn. You'll see that there are people, like not just myself. There are people that constantly every day working to help bring all these teachings and bring the light and bring these tools to you, so that you can be empowered and really live as your true self. And that's, it's not easy, right? Because the whole world works in a different way. So you kind of like going.
We really are going against the grain,
right?
Yeah,
but
it's okay.
It's okay. And also, like, when enough of us do that,
then we're not against the grain
anymore. Everybody does that.
Exactly.
And how wonderful it is. Like we work for Shambhala, we're in the Mr. School. Shambhala means world peace. My version of world peace is everybody gets to live their life. Well, gets to definitely live it who they are, but also be able to live their purpose every day, and just having that inner peace every day. And just, I feel like that's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
And I know that it's totally possible, because I have built that in my life, and I've seen people build it in their life as well. So it's just a matter of having more, like those who are ready, stand up and then step forward, so that for those who aren't ready yet, maybe then eventually they will.
Absolutely. They'll see it, and they're gonna want it.
Oh,
they're going to see all these happy people walking around all happy and joyous, and they're like, I want some of that.
Most people,
and that's as easy. Yes, and then that'll bring them over, and that's just about how you say it's just spreading your light everywhere you go.
Yeah. So come to the community.
Absolutely. This is definitely. So I do want to mention though how inexpensive and how affordable it is to come to your classes.
Yeah.
So the meditation, check it out. It's $40 for a subscription for the month, and you can go in and have all your meditation that you need throughout the month. Now that is unheard of for prices. Now this is a blessing. You're a blessing to our community to be offering this. There's the other classes, the other classes that she's got. There's a whole website. Check out the website, The Path to Inner Peace.
enlightening.co.
We're gonna have the website on the screen. It'll be up there. But check out her website. When is your next meditation session?
It's every Thursday, 7 to 8:30 p.m.
Every Thursday from 7 to 8:30.
Yeah.
You will not be disappointed. I checked it out. I'm going to be signing up for the subscription.
Oh my gosh,
yes, absolutely, because it's absolutely amazing. I'll tell you. I'll share a little story. I've always wanted to meditate. I've always tried it. I've always wanted to go there, and I've never been able to. I did a float session in isolation chamber. That's been the closest, thing. One day, here's a funny story in my story. Me and my old assistant, we went up for New Year's, just me and her. We got a cabin up at Three Rivers, and we went to go just have our own New Year's with just me and her, and we're going to meditate, and we're going to this and that. Neither one of us knew how to meditate. We brought a book. I don't know if we brought a book or I Googled it up there, and it's like, and so we're trying to meditate, and it's saying like breathe, and then so we're doing like this, and then and she like looks at me like this. We're sitting across, and I look at her like, and we just start busting up. Neither one of us are meditating. We're trying our hardest. So yeah, it's not easy. So I went to the class. It was amazing. I've never felt the calm that I felt. I was meditating. I know I was. I had to have been. It was all the stuff, and it's completely guided. So she's literally telling you, and the way that you do it. What do you call it? It's a certain general.
There are 5 steps. It's a system, and this is what I really like about this meditation technique, because when you do it enough, it teaches your body to relax, and your mind as well.
Yes.
And you're gonna know what I mean when you get to the point
Absolutely.
where you're like, wait a minute, what just happened?
Yes.
So you learn. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really cool because it uses a little bit of psychology as well in telling your body what to do for your body to match up with your mind, and in all of this, it's absolutely amazing. You guys, check it out. She's downtown, very easy to find. Anything else that you want to share? $40 a month, you guys. No, I can. It's amazing.
And maybe I'll share more about that. Like I make the meditation, the weekly meditation, like I make it so that it becomes a community space.
Yeah.
You know, so that like you have no excuse.
Really, really.
So that it becomes a community space, and obviously, you know, if you work with me private with the sessions that you do so in other classes, and you will find yourself, if you're ready, you'll find yourself able to transform a lot more, a lot faster.
Yes.
But even you just come for the meditation, you know, come for however long, a month and 2 months, you give yourself that
just come
chance, setting yourself up for success.
Absolutely.
And you're able to see how things shift. And then at some point you'll like it enough that you just want to keep going.
Yeah, you just don't want to stop.
Motivation.
It's like a massage. It's like a treat. It's a treat. It's let me relax.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
you learn
take myself to a next level with life and understanding and all of that. It's all connected.
Yeah. And the reason it's so helpful is because you're not just receiving, you're engaging. Like because you have to listen, right? You have to do it. So that makes it even that much more powerful.
Yes. Bring a partner, bring a friend.
Yeah.
You know, if you have a stressed out friend, bring them. If you know anyone, bring your parents. Just go.
Yeah,
when I was there was a couple there. One of the lady was pregnant.
Right,
I remember she was pregnant.
That was my first pregnant.
Yeah. So it was beautiful. It was amazing.
Yeah.
You guys do not want to miss out on these sessions.
And it's $20 for
if you want to go just to go check. $20 to go check her out. That's why I'm saying the subscription is worth it, because $20 you can go once, $40 you're set for the month. There's really no excuse. How you said it's worth it. It's life changing. It really is. I mean, who doesn't want to discover who you are truly within? Thank you so much for coming and visiting with us.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yes, you're welcome. Yeah. We'll have you back. We'll talk some more. We're going to check out the other programs that you have. Definitely. Thank you so much. And we will see you soon.